Here's the answer to that question, and it's rather simple. The OEM wants it fixed the way the OEM prescribes it be fixed.
Sure.
And the insurer wants it fixed as cheap and fast as possible. They don't care about all that other stuff under normal circumstances. Those two forces do not go together.
They don't mix well.
They don't.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. My name is Eric Reamer. That's Robert Grieve, and we are thankful that you are with us today. Now, if you have just joined us for the very first time, a special welcome to you. If you see something you like, we encourage you to click that thumbs up button that tells YouTube that this is material that you would like to share with other people, and they'll do the sharing for us. That's kind of the cool part. And, of course, if you're one of our regular family and you haven't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. While you're there, you can click that notification bell, and it'll tell you that it's Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. here in the Mountain Standard Time every single week when we produce another one of these episodes. All right, Rob, happy Saturday to you.
To you, my dear friends, thank you so much for tuning in.
We made it through another week.
Whew.
And I'll just tell you, I don't normally like to grab the spotlight, but I'm glad that this week is over. They took 6 teeth out of my head, and I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back.
All right. So, Rob, no, I just shared a painful story. Tag, you're it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's almost Halloween.
So, last week we were talking about certification programs and independent repair and body shop collision centers having the ability to get that plaque on the wall from a manufacturer that gives them the thumbs up, and
right.
We recommend people go to you because you're going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And
that's the assumption.
Yeah, and we've also shared over the last few weeks a few times the link to the video that we did on certifications, not just another plaque on the wall.
Right.
It's a promise. It's a promise to the consumers. And it's an insurance, if you're a consumer, that you go in and, whatever you're driving and you see there's a plaque on the wall that says the OEM has sanctioned these people and said, yes, this is a place to go to get that vehicle fixed.
Sure.
They've got special training, special tools, special processes.
All of that's necessary for their certification.
Yes. Yes.
It sounds like this should be a happy story.
Well, it's not. It's not. Too often, consumers, trying to figure out how to delicately say this. You have the plaque on the wall, and that means these people are specifically trained and have the tools and resources and wherewithal to find procedures and all the rest of that to repair your vehicle to back the way the manufacturer wants it repaired.
That's the goal.
And that's the point of the manufacturers doing this, is because they want their cars fixed properly.
Sure.
So, they seek out collision centers, whether they're dealer and not every dealer is certified in that make and model as far as the collision centers go. You may think it is, but unless there's a plaque on the wall, they're not.
Okay.
So it's disturbing when you run across, and last week we were talking about the certification program that we're part of with Lexus, and all the stuff that we have to go through to get recertified every year. And this week I come across an instance that I felt like I needed to bring to the consumer's attention. All right. May not be very popular.
Well, if popularity was what we were going for, we would have hung that up
Yeah.
a long time ago. All right, so catch us up. What's the story?
I have often said, and this is my belief, my personal belief, I'm not speaking for anybody else.
Okay.
I don't understand how a direct repair relationship with an insurer, which means the insurer is going to send them to you, send you to a specific shop.
There you go.
Because that shop is their approved shop.
Right.
And that approved shop is also an OEM certified shop for your vehicle. Those two forces do not go together.
They don't mix well.
They don't, because the OEM wants it fixed the way the OEM prescribes it be fixed.
Sure.
And the insurer wants it fixed as cheap and fast as possible. They don't care about all that other stuff under normal circumstances.
We have made, many, many videos about both of those topics separately, right? And if you want, you can go to nylundscollision.com and check out our blog. I'll put a link to it right below here. And you can see that this is not something new that you're bringing to us.
No.
But they're
But
two
now
diametrically opposed forces.
They absolutely are. I mean, to fix it the way the OEM wants it is a whole lot more process than using somebody's 30 years of knowledge and disregarding the procedures that the OEMs put out on how they want it done, how many welds, what kind of welder, all the rest of that stuff.
We see technicians who have those 30 years of experience behind them, and they do disregard, in many cases, the procedures and the policies, and they just make their own rules and say, that's up to them, and it's just a money grab anyways. We stand on the side of aligning ourselves with the OEMs because they're the ones who manufacture the car in the first place.
Yeah, kind of a good source, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a good source. So we have a vehicle that was repaired at another collision center here in Colorado.
Yeah.
A brand name collision center that's national. It's across the country.
Sure.
And they did a horrific job on this guest vehicle. It's a horrific job. But one thing I noticed on the estimate was a used bumper reinforcement, LKQ, like, kind, and quality.
Yeah.
I call it a junkyard part because that's where they come from. They come from the recyclers.
Salvage.
Yeah, recyclers.
Yeah. It's good for America.
And they had some aftermarket parts on this vehicle. Now, this vehicle went to a national chain that is also an approved shop for the insurance company.
Okay, so they have
a
direct repair
relationship with the insurance company.
Yeah.
So this shop is nationally known, has a direct repair relationship with the insurance company, so the insurance company recommends them.
Right.
I guess that means they vetted them and all the rest of that stuff. It's 'cause whatever. But they're also an OEM certified shop for this brand of vehicle.
You just said earlier that those two have a hard time mixing in the same space.
They really do. They really do. I'm not saying that there isn't shops that can execute on that. It's incredibly unlikely. And here is a perfect example. So they put a recycled reinforcement, which I consider to be a structural safety component, because that's what's going to help move the energy around off of you.
It's the actual metal bumper that's below the plastic cover that you see.
Yep, exactly. And then some other aftermarket parts on the vehicle. And so maybe you can throw up this Hyundai position statement.
Sure.
So right at the headline, and OEMs are the manufacturers of vehicles, put out these position statements, and you can find it as a public person, as just a regular consumer. If you go to OE One Stop, it has position statements for almost all the manufacturers. When there's something in the industry going on that they don't really agree with, and that here's our position on how it should be done.
Okay.
And so the title of this position statement from Hyundai Motor America: Hyundai does not recommend the use of counterfeit, gray market, aftermarket, imitation, recycled collision repair parts, or alternate or other non-original equipment parts.
Hard to be much more clear than that.
And that's the title. I mean, they go.
Yeah, their position statement is clear from the very title of it.
Yeah, and they go into why they take the position that they do, and mostly it's about safety. Because if you put a different ingredient in your cake because you don't have what it calls for, then the cake may not turn out to be so good, and it's certainly not going to be as the recipe designed it to be.
It's a very good analogy.
And so when you interject ingredients into these repairs that are not manufacturer approved, you're putting the consumer at risk.
Yes.
Now, why would somebody do that? A shop would do that because they have a few different people they need to listen to here. They need to listen to you, the consumer, first and foremost, in my mind. They need to listen to the OEM and the way they want the car repaired, because they have a promise on the wall, a plaque on the wall,
Right.
that they're going to do just that. Otherwise, it's deception. And you have the insurance company.
And the reason they have to listen to the insurance company is because of that
Relationship.
partnership that they...
So they have a contract with the insurance company, they have a contract with the OEM, and they're a big major player. They also have a contract with you, the consumer. What they have to figure out is, who actually are we going to serve here?
Yeah.
And who serves it best for us?
Right.
And by and large, I certainly can't say in most cases because I'm not there to see most cases.
Sure.
In many cases that we come across, that I actually put my hands on, they always choose the insurance company partner.
Mm-hmm.
And leave the consumer and the OEM out to dry. So this person went to a Hyundai certified shop.
Yep.
And got different parts put on their car than what. I mean, this is a position statement. You don't even have to go into the procedures to look at this. It's there for everybody to see. Actually, I'd like you to put a link to OEM One Stop on here as well.
It's right below.
Because it's an incredible resource for anybody that's been in an accident or knows somebody that's been in an accident. And so there's a certain amount of trust and confidence when you go to a shop that's got that brand's plaque on the wall.
Right.
It doesn't mean they're going to abide by the rules when there's another guy in the room who's writing the check and saying, no, a used one is fine, even though the OEM says don't do that, and you should know better because you're OEM certified. And aftermarket ones, they'll be fine because we say so, and that's all the policy pays for, and that's all we're allowing you to do because you're under contract with us.
Okay. So I'm going to play the role of maybe everyone watching. And my question to you is this, because Rob, we got 94 episodes of the airing of grievances, which is all about what goes on behind the curtain.
That's the idea,
right?
To avoid potholes and
we're literally trying to educate you, the consumer, not you, the potential DRP or anybody else in the industry. Though we love those of you that show up and engage with us, we do.
Absolutely.
But as a consumer, I'm a consumer.
We're actually all consumers.
It's true. I have this question.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me that the plaque should stand for something.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me that they've been trained and have the proper equipment and all the boxes have been checked and the OEM says these guys are doing it right. And yet I go to a shop and I see the plaque on the wall and the
National
sign,
brand,
Right.
shop.
and you tell me to ask the questions, and I do. I ask the questions and they give me the answers that I think I should hear. And then you see a story like this.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that car is here
Mm-hmm.
because horrible things happened.
Yeah, stuff was repaired that should have been replaced, and horrifically, by the way, horrifically. But you know what? It's under other stuff. It's under the bumper cover. It's under the
No one would ever
cover.
see.
You're not going to see it unless you go looking for it, or
God forbid.
happen to be underneath it while they're changing the oil and say, "Hey, wow, what's that all about?"
And God forbid an accident actually happens again. It happened once. What are the likelihood? What's the likelihood that it could happen again?
It doesn't work that you'll get hit once and never get hit again.
Yeah. So the end of my question is this.
Please.
How do I know? What do I do? How do I did all the things you told me to do, and I'm still coming away with sometimes these results. How do I at least hedge my bet towards the proper repair?
Okay. Here's the answer to that question. And it's rather simple. You're not going to know about processes and if they're using the right welder, the right welds, or the right... So we have to look at other things that would lead us to believe that. The plaque on the wall should lead us to believe that.
Right.
But let's just say we want to verify. So I recommend that any time that a repair plan is generated by the shop to go to the insurance company, you get a copy. If there is a revision to that, a supplement, you get a new copy at the time that the supplement is sent. Here, anytime we send paperwork to the insurance company, we copy the guest.
Okay.
So the guest knows that it was sent,
Yep.
knows who it was sent to, knows when it was sent,
Yep.
and what was contained in it.
Yep.
Too many times when you take it to one of these shops that's an approved insurance partner, they just take your car and fix it and give it back to you.
Right.
And there's no communication or very little communication in the middle as to what they're using to fix your car.
Sure.
I've seen it over and over and over again.
It may even sound like that's what you want because you don't know, right?
You do need to know.
You need to know.
So when you look at the estimate, again, you're not going to necessarily know if they're using the manufacturer's processes and all the rest of that, but they must specify what parts they're replacing, what parts they're repairing, and what kind of parts they are. And if you see aftermarket or used parts on your vehicle's estimate,
Yeah.
and you took it to a certified shop that also happens to be a preferred vendor for the insurance company, you need to start asking some questions, because if you go to that OEM one stop, there's so much information there. It will tell you clearly, we do not sanction used parts. We do not sanction aftermarket parts, counterfeit parts, gray market parts, any alternative parts. And if those are on your estimate and you're at one of those places, you need to put the stop on everything for a minute and re-engage with them and ask, why are you putting these on my vehicle or suggesting that they be on my vehicle when the OEM says otherwise?
You hit it. I mean, that's it.
That's one way to know, because if everything is listed as OEM,
Yeah.
you're probably in a good spot. Doesn't guarantee it, but you're probably in a good spot. If you see mixed stuff, opt OEM, aftermarket, LKQ, which is a nice word for like, kind, and quality, or junkyard parts. It should concern you, because if they're going to do those sorts of things, then what else? What other shortcuts are going to take? And they're not doing these things to benefit you. I promise you that.
Right.
They're not benefiting you. They are hurting you because they are depreciating the car. The car's worth less with those parts on it. And we don't know what safety concerns, airbag timing or structural, integrity
Yeah.
are going to be included in these things. So that's my thing for today.
It's an unpopular
It's hard.
opinion.
It's a very, you know what, for those shops that are watching, I don't know what to tell you. There's many that can make it work. And I really believe that that's more regionally driven, and, where there aren't, the insurance company doesn't have adjusters, and they rely on you, and you're a partner with it, and you can make the case to the insurance. So many shops don't go through that. They just do whatever the insurance company wants.
And of course,
that's bad for the guest.
We're talking about here in the Colorado market, because that's the market we're in, and our experience with the insurance companies and OEMs as well.
We just did a brand new Honda, and there's a video on that also. We did a post-repair inspection on it. They put a reconditioned headlight in it. That's a no-no. Brand new. Temp on the window. And a aftermarket hood without ever letting the guest know that that's how they were repairing their car. And when I asked the shop about it, they said, well, that's their policy. They should know their policy, and we're just following the rules of the policy. And, that may be the case, but there's times that we need to challenge, and we need to have the conversation with the guest, because an aftermarket hood in a brand new car just tore that value of that vehicle up. Not to mention, later on, a few months later, there's now a recall on the original manufacturer's hood, but they don't have one on there. They have an aftermarket hood, so there's no recall on that.
And there you have it. There's the old shell game and blame shift, and then there's accountability. And we here at Nylund appreciate the accountable side of that. We are accountable to you, the guest, first, foremost, and always. So, brother, thank you so much for bringing this. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Here's our phone number. Don't hesitate to contact us. And if we're able, we'll answer your questions. If we're not geographically desirable, we'll make a referral to somebody who is. All right?
All right.
Rob,
happy Saturday. My dear friends, have an amazing week. Thanks so much for tuning in. You mean the world to us.